Hey guys, I am here at the Porter's residence. Today we're going to have an honest discussion on love and marriage. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is McCoy Porter, and this is my wonderful husband.
Hello, my name is Arenthian Porter.
Guys, thank you so much for allowing me into your home and for giving me this opportunity to interview you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Now, our first question is, how long have you been together?
We've been together, it's going on 5 years,
5 years.
but we'll be married for 4 years come this September.
So how long were you dating before prior to marriage?
Okay, we were dating for like 9 months.
9 months, wow.
Yes, and then we got engaged. We couldn't resist all of this. I'm joking.
I believe you. I believe it. Amazing, amazing. So, looking back on some of your expectations, looking back at some expectations you had before marriage, how have they changed? Because we always have some expectations, like marriage is supposed to be this way. We watch the soap operas, we look on people's social media platform, and we're thinking it's all perfect.
Right.
But what were some of the expectations that you had prior to marriage?
Well, for me, I can honestly say that my expectations weren't good because I didn't see good marriage, so I know that I want to do a lot of things opposite of what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So my expectations weren't great as far as what I seen, but I knew that whatever I had was going to be better, and I wanted to make sure that I did the work to make sure I made whatever I had different.
So it sounds like you had a vision for your future and a vision for the type of marriage that you wanted, opposite of what was seen.
Yeah, just like being in an environment that you're in it, you have no control over it, but you know it's not right, and you're like, well, when I get of age that I can make some decisions, they're going to be a little bit different, so my path and my future, I'm going to be happy, and whoever I'm with is going to be happy.
Okay, what about you?
Yes, and for me, it's like I always wanted a godly marriage. And I've seen marriages and, people that they're still trying to find love and they are already married, some women. And I said, I want a husband who will love me, will care for me, and I want him to serve God and all of that. And thank the Lord. God has blessed me with that, so I'm very happy. And, I've seen marriages fail and all of that, so I'm really expecting to do everything, I can to make my marriage work. Yeah.
Thank you for that. The next question, what special role has your faith played in your marriage? What special role?
As for me, I always believe that you have to serve something higher than yourself. And when I don't have all the answers, I know somebody that does, and that's where a relationship with God will help you. And not only that, but it helps you how to love when you don't necessarily feel like it, because you just think about the way He loves and how He cares for us, and then how we're supposed to translate that onto our mate. So it's basically the best foundation I believe any marriage could have.
And also in terms of faith, like this relationship started by faith because God told me from the beginning that this man was my husband, and I was like, really, God, come on now.
Okay, we're going to stick up here, because I'm sure some of our viewers are going to be like, okay, God told you. Like, how did God tell you, right? Because they all think stuff like these are spooky.
Yes.
But we know God speaks, right?
Yes.
So how did God reveal it to you? Was it in a dream? Was it like, like in a vision? Like, how was it revealed to you? How did you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is your husband?
Yeah, because, I've seen him at church before, and, not because he's good looking or anything, but, that too, but anyway. But I'm saying, like, God dropped and said, he's your husband. He dropped into my spirit, and I prayed about it. And even one time he told me to pull up his picture because, just pray over him. Well, I mean, that was like after we became friends. Yeah, we became friends. And then I prayed over him, but I didn't tell him all of this. But God told me, and I'm like, God, well, you need to show him because I'm not going to tell him that. So, so I just kept it and I prayed and I waited for a good, like probably 6 months before God revealed it to him. So that's definitely faith.
Wow.
And it happened.
Wow. I have this question, but it's not in my notes here. Do you think it's a great idea for singles to start praying for their future spouse?
Of course, praying, and not only praying, but also fasting. I believe that it's going to not only bring you closer together, but it's going to give you direction as far as your goals and what you should, the direction that both you guys want to go into. So definitely prayer. I mean, you can talk, you can have conversations all day long, but what good is it getting advice from all these different people and you're not getting advice from the main source, which is the Lord. So.
Right.
And it's a great way for God to search your heart. You
Yeah.
know, to see, you know, why is it that you want to get married? Like, you know, what is your motive? To make sure you're not like about to idolize this thing,
Right.
but to really serve, because marriage is ministry.
Right.
You know, so.
And what I believe also, it's very important to have a spiritual relationship with that person first before you get into the physical stuff. And I believe that's where we go wrong, because we after this flesh and the stuff, and that doesn't work, because you need to know that this person love you for you, you know, without any, not the way you touch me, you make me feel or anything, but is the person understand who you are and what you are about, because
Spirit first.
Your spirit first. So I believe that is very, very important.
And that's why I also said, according to what she said, I believe that you have to have them as your foundation, because you have to move past your I think, I want, I feel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if you let that be your end all, I think, I want, I feel all the time, too many mistakes are going to be made.
And that changes from time to time.
Yeah, it does.
You know, you like him today, you don't like him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Versus when it's in the spirit,
Right.
it's more spiritual based, then you could stronger. You could overcome the flesh. Including with the flesh. Wow, this is good. I'm not doing this. All right. So share some of the difficult times. You know, be as open as possible. How did these affect your relationship with God and with each other? Like going through the difficult times. How was it for you? How did you deal with those?
Well, I mean, was very difficult for me at the beginning, and you know, I'm learning now. It's like to submit to my husband, because I used to like doing my own thing.
Independent.
You know, like buy what I want to buy, do. And for example, when I just moved in, because I moved in with him, and you know, I just come in and I just change everything in the house, put up this curtain, that fix, and bring all of my stuff and dump it in there, and you know, and my husband don't like clutter, you know. So I deck out the place now, and I'm like, oh, I transformed this place, his man cave.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a man cave, but I always have to believe that, a man lives here too.
Right.
And you just can't have purple and pink.
Right, and I come and I change everything. And when he came home, I was like, oh God, he's just going to be blown away.
Right.
And he came home and he's like,
I hated all of it.
I don't like this, I don't like, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Can you see?
Can't you see the place? But what I did wrong, and then, because I got so mad at him, and he got so, that was like one of our first big disagreement, right? And he left the house to go to the gym, because, you know, clearly he didn't want to argue with me.
Yeah.
So that's good. And you know, I will take it out.
I know you will, child.
But thank God for Jesus. But anyway, so when he came back now, and I was like, I called my friend, I'm like, can you believe I fixed this place? And da-da-da. And then he said to me, when he came back, and he said, the problem is not that you transform the place, but I mean, we need to do this together. And that's very big, because this is in my head and this is what I'm going to do. But in marriage, you can't do that. It's not about you, as you said. A guy lived there, you know.
It basically was, because I had a house before we got married, and then, you know, as we got married, she moved in. And then, like she said, just kind of, what it was his stuff got to go, I put my stuff in. That's what it was.
I don't like your stuff.
She's trying to be polite about it and not have any blame on herself, but that's what it was. His stuff got to go, and I'm inserting my stuff in.
And this is how it should be, which you cannot do that. It's a team work, you know.
Submit to each other.
Yes, submit to each other. And, you know, so, and then, you know, we went out after that, we went out together, and he was picking out curtains, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, what? You know, so we and even this house, you know, together, we said, okay, we like this coat, we like that.
So you wanted to be involved.
It need to be, because I am not the only one living there.
there.
And he's not the only one living there, so we have to do it so we both feel comfortable.
But I do realize how some guys, they just don't care. Hey, do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's your house anyway.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I need to at least, some stuff I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, she wanted to put like decorations around like a TV. I'm like, no, honey, just, it's a TV.
Yeah.
Just,
Keep it
this
clean.
little squirt, just leave it as is.
Yeah.
Anything around it, that's fine, but that's my world right there.
Right.
Just leave my world as is.
And that's fair because around the TV I have all my stuff. But then he doesn't want, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
It's not all about us as women. We like to take over. And it's nice.
And
And
it works.
sometimes I've seen, just doing stuff together with him, I realized that, oh, I thought this was a good idea. And in the end, it was perfect example. When we just moved in, I was in such a rush to get carpet because I just want to see the house done. And he's like, honey, it can wait. Let's just wait. And I was, what? I need it now.
Yeah.
And then look what happened. The wood floor was given to us for free.
You would have bought the carpet.
And then I would have
money.
bought, exactly. So I am those things help me to learn that, you have to submit to your husband if he's wrong, because he's not right all the time. If he's wrong, in the end, he will see, God will show him that he's wrong, and I don't need to knock him on his head to tell him that he's wrong.
Right.
Well, one thing about submission that a lot of people don't understand is you're never supposed to submit to sin. So if I'm telling you to sin or whatever, you're not supposed to submit to
That's a
that.
great point.
It just means, it's just real simple, that if a final decision is made, and if it's a difficult one, usually that will be reserved for the husband. Not all the time, but usually. And one thing I always told her was, I can't lead you if you're always telling me what to do. And I'll just leave that there. I just freed up a bunch of men right there. I just freed up half of the East Coast right there.
Oh my goodness.
Men, you're welcome. I just freed up so many men right there.
Good.
That's good. That's good.
Are there any couples you look up to, and what do you respect about their marriage?
One thing I always respect about couples, I don't want to say anyone personally, but anytime I see somebody married for years and they've been through life, all type of changes, I respect that. I believe you have to. You hear that couple married 20, 30, 40 years, still in love, family is healthy. You just have to look up to that. And like I said, healthy marriage.
Right.
Healthy marriage.
Because you could be married that long.
It could.
And it's,
I just got a house, healthy marriage.
Yeah. And people who stay married yet, and I mean, we've heard testimonies, people went through some bad stuff and they forgive each other and they stay together, and that is very big. So hats off to those people. Yeah.
I like it. Now, what do you see as your strengths and weaknesses in your marriage? Strengths and weaknesses. Is he better at one thing? Are you, the things that he's lacking, are you higher, more strength in those areas?
Well, for him, he's very organized, on time. That is my biggest weakness. But I'm getting better, much better. Especially when it's the gift time.
Of course, you're not going to be late for that.
Oh my God.
I think she has helped me as far as with family. There was like a situation that I got into an argument with someone before, and she kind of, in her gentle way, made me be nicer. And even though I didn't want to go and apologize and do something, she's like, honey, just do this and that. And I'm like, okay. So she has been my peace at times and kind of just nudged me to do the right thing.
Is that the Holy Spirit? She's like the Holy Spirit.
Right.
So.
And for him, he's always like on me to get things done and to, not in that way. I get things done, but it's when I get it done.
You get it done at your time.
On my time. But you can count on me though. I'll get it done.
Okay.
But him, he's like caught about time, about business. And trust me, I like that sometimes. I'll do the stuff.
Those are all qualities of a leader.
Right, and I procrastinate sometimes, but like I said, I'm gonna get it done, but it's when. But so I'm learning more from him, like even going to work on time. No, I'm so early, like
Wow.
I'm first.
You see that?
Yeah, and it feels good, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm at work early. I start early. I don't have to rush, and and those are things like wake up a little earlier. Stuff like those. I mean, we're not perfect, we struggle with the things. Those Jamaican times, that.
Tell us about it, especially if you like one that like to fix up yourself.
Right.
I was talking about church started telling you just leave the house.
Right, and I love it because I feel better now, and I think I'm almost there, not 100%, but I'm almost there.
Amazing.
Slowly but surely. I don't want to give you too much credit during the interview.
Oh yeah, God.
But I want the progress to still
To keep going.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right. That's it. I agree.
Now we're on our final question.
Yes.
What advice would you give to singles who have a desire to be married? Now I want you to really take your time on this, because a lot of times, we have singles out there that don't I don't know about this marriage thing because I don't see good marriages being displayed. Or they're going to date endlessly, or they don't date with a purpose.
Right.
Because they're trying to, drag their foot kind of a thing. How would you encourage those singles, male and female?
Well, for the ladies, I would like to say that marriage is not the wedding. The wedding lasts this long, and most people I know, they don't remember much about their wedding because they're here and there. A lot was going on.
Right.
So I know that's the fairy tale that a lot of ladies may have, which is good. You should have it. That is your
But
day.
no one obsessed about
But
that.
it's his day too.
Yeah.
But that lasts.
More worth
It doesn't last that long.
They don't.
So after that, the work comes. Real life comes in. You got to do the work. You got to try to. How do I spend time with her when I'm at work? And a bunch of life happens.
Yeah.
And I believe that you really have to be dedicated to your marriage and the work that it takes.
Right.
And it's so easy to date and all that, and like you said, dating endlessly. Hey, buddy, you going to do this or not?
Yeah.
And I don't blame anyone who wants to protect their time. And if things aren't going a certain way, I'm not saying you have to live by a schedule, but you'll kind of know.
Yeah, if this is the one.
If this is going into a certain direction or not. Because you don't want to, especially anything past 30, you don't want to waste your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, in the teens and the 20s, you think you're going to live forever. Once 30 hits, it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Going off the calendar.
But I would just say that everyone says it is work, but it's a good thing though.
It is.
If you want it. Certain people don't want marriage. Hey, I can understand that, and I'm not one to force you into that.
Right.
Because you really want someone to know in their heart and in their mind.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do with their lives. And I want to say for men, older guys who are married, give the young guys a break. Because
they're always asking, when did you get married?
But not only that, but a lot of guys who've been married for a while, a guy all happy, yeah, just proposed. What'd you do that for?
Oh my goodness, really?
The dumbest thing you could have did.
No way.
A lot of guys,
Oh my goodness.
and it depends on what circles you're in, but at my job, I was all excited and everything, and a bunch of older guys, what'd you do that for?
Oh my goodness.
Why'd you do that? There was a bunch of negative stuff about marriage, this and that. And I'm like,
and those are voices you're doing.
Yeah.
and I'm like, is there anything positive? But this one guy asked me, so how's it going? The engagement and all that. And I told him that, I feel great, but every time I come here, I feel discouraged. He says, I know exactly what you're talking about. They need to shut up. He says, any person new into this type of relationship, you don't want to give them a negative. Negative is everywhere.
True.
Right.
Because it spoils it.
And he gave me the positive, and he just told me just to shut all that out of my mind.
Yeah.
And he told me the real, and I still remember him to this day. That was great advice he gave me.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow. What about for you?
For me, I mean, I'm always big on this, for the ladies. Yes, we want to get married and the day and everything and the husband and whatever. But, we really just have to wait on God for the right person. And just like Rennie said, the pressure people, oh, you're not getting married, and don't allow that pressure to consume you, because I mean, I've had person said to me, you should just be a nun and call it a day.
No way.
They said it. And I mean, what is wrong with you? But and I'm like, listen, I'm waiting on God. Oh, you're waiting for the perfect man. I said, I'm not waiting for the perfect guy.
Wow.
I'm waiting for the man that God has for me. And if it takes me a long time, I'm going to wait because I've been through, you know, bad relationships. And I realize that it's not worth it. It's not worth my time. There's somebody that God created for you. And if you're not finding that person, you need to say, God, okay, what do I need to do?
In the meantime.
In the meantime.
Yes.
Because some of us, we're ready for the marriage, and we're not ready.
We're
Like,
not.
when I
We're
said
not
I want,
ready.
and especially when we are in the church, and you know it's all about marriage, as I see you sit beside a guy, oh my God, is she dating him?
Yeah.
If they're going to get
So
married.
you can't sit beside no male.
You can't sit, you know, like it's always this pressure of getting married.
Social
And
pressure.
that kind of, you know, it's very challenging. So for me, I'm saying, you know, just wait, just ask God to help you, you know, because I was killing about married, and I wasn't ready for a husband. My attitude, you know, like there's a lot of stuff that God had to prepare me, and you know, I like to get miserable when I'm ready. No, you know, it's chill. So like, you know, there's a lot of things that you need to learn, and some of us think that we're ready, but we are really not ready. So you have to just spend that time to seek God and say, God, you know, show me what I need to do. Are there some things personally that you need to accomplish in your life before you join?
And even vice versa. Sometimes he's working on that guy too.
Yes.
Working on his heart and getting his finances together as well.
And getting everything ready for you. So we just don't want to wait, and then we rush. And we end up in some bad situation. So just wait it out, just trust. And this is where faith comes in. You have to believe that God has someone for me when he's ready. I'm not saying it wasn't hard. You know, I'm not saying you don't want to take up the phone or whatever, but you have to use that, let God fill that void. Because there's a void, you know, but if you fill up yourself with, oh, can somebody text me, checking your phone every second? That time, go read your word. Because what I used to do, when I have that feeling over me, I just start singing some praise and worship, and I just start, you know, reading, and then I just felt so good in God until it become easy and easy. Then I'm like, if somebody said they like me, I'm like, really now? Are you a man of God?
Yeah.
What are your intentions? I'm not sleeping with you before marriage. I'm not doing it. I'm listing out everything. Because guess what? I'm good. I don't need anything.
Yeah. Because you have God filled that
because
space.
I have God.
But if you're coming from a needy space, you're like, okay, I'll give my number. Then you like,
and then instead of you bringing this person to God, this person bringing you away from God. Honey, you better meet me right here at this altar. We both go there.
One thing I would add on is not only seek God, but you're also allowed to ask him for confirmation.
Yes.
It's not always, he speaks to you. It's not always going to be the burning bush, but it's going to be a little bit more subtle, but he can kind of confirm what you believe he told you, whether it's yes or no. So you're always allowed to ask for confirmation. God, I'm feeling this way, but you have to confirm this is you and not just me and my own feelings.
Right.
I heard a preacher say God answers 3 ways. Yes, no, or not yet.
Yes.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
Because I believe he has a set time to bless you.
Yes.
And if he does, he's not going to bless you 3 years prior just because you want it so bad.
Right.
So you have to wait out those 3 years, and that's when he knows that you're going to be ready to receive it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, God has a set time to bless us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Mr. and Mrs. Porter, thank you so much for this amazing, honest discussion. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.
Bye. Come again.
All right.